Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy podcast. I'm Troy Hill. We got Kyle and Star-Struck Fan, aka Ron, with us this evening. How are you guys doing today, gentlemen?
All is well. All is well.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Good to
That
hear.
much
Good to hear.
a day closer. One day
Ye-
closer.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And another part of the process took place yesterday, where the schedule has been released throughout the NFL. They sprinkled it out throughout the whole day. So we had like little nooks and morsels throughout the day. And as always, of course, everybody, if you're a fan of a professional football team, everybody had a little bit of excitement yesterday. Um, some fans already making predictions. We believe on this program it's way too damn early to be making any type of prediction whatsoever. It's just kind of just ridiculous in some points. I will understand the fun of it, but just kind of ridiculous. What do you think about that, Kyle?
No, yeah, I mean, it's fun to do. It fills time, but like I said, if CD, breaks his toe in training camp, I mean, predictions are out the door. You know what I mean? If like you said, injuries play such a big part of it. Like look at the Jets last year. One injury, four snaps into the game, and that team was done. You know what I mean? So it's way too early to, especially I think Dallas, they're so thin. Like I said, if they get, if Tyler Smith gets hurt, gets hurt in OTAs and tears an ACL, I mean, like that's a pretty big injury. That could be really affect things. It's too early. Yeah, I agree. It's a little early.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, and you brought up a excellent point about one, it being so early, and then we just don't know what this team's going to look like, and we're already thin. So I mean, Cowboys Nation, you probably be sending us hate mail after the predictions that we would make so far, for based off of what we got right now, because of right now it's not going to be that good. I can tell you right now, it'll be. I mean, to me, you're at the 50% threshold where there's 3 or 4 games that you're going to bid. It's going to be depend on your level of discipline. Either it's going to be the difference between being a 500 team, above 500 team, or below 500 team. So I don't think you want that prediction from us just now. What do you think about that, Ron?
And that I could give you my best guess. I won't go week by week, but I've scanned the schedule and I can give my best guess based upon what the team is comprised as of right now. But again, it'd be just a guess, of course, and not based on any analysis because there's nothing out there to really. Yeah, exactly. So it would just be a good guess. But if I had to throw something out there, it would probably be about one game above 500 until I can see what these guys are looking like once training camp hits and what kind of the final roster looks like. But, just kind of looking at the schedule and all you got to go off of is 2023 because you haven't seen anything in 2024. So, yeah, it's not much you can really do, but just guess at this point.
I mean, one thing kind of exciting and different is opening game against Cleveland Browns. What do you guys think about that?
Well, Kyle, I'll let you get a stab at it this time. Don't start us off.
I mean, it's just another game to me. I mean, I don't know. I think it's, a 4:30 game against an AFC opponent. I mean, it's literally, I don't think that highly or negatively of Cleveland. I mean, they had that nice run last year with Joe Flacco, but I mean, that was kind of a miracle run for them. And, they lost just like, kind of expected them to in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's just another game. I'm not getting hyped over Cleveland Browns. I'm just not, I don't know. They don't do anything for me. So.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's winnable. They should win that game. I mean, I think Dallas is good enough to win that. Good enough to win that game.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if they are. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it's sad, because it's always just been, the Browns, but this time around is kind of really, really hard to say, And granted, it's early,
it is.
I might have some level of confidence like later, but right now it's just like I still see that little stupid picture you send us all the time with Jerry Jones and with the sunglasses on, and it's followed by the phrase "all in."
Two things
So
Cleveland's going to bring in week one regardless, which I think would make it a difficult game for the Cowboys no matter what. So two things right off the top. One thing, no matter who the quarterback is, they're going to bring a run game and they're going to bring a defense. And those two things seem to give us problems. And so that's, unless whatever we put out there rolling out week one, those guys in training camp show us that they can stop the run. And we get which you're not going to really know what to go off of because of preseason. But if they don't fix the issue we had, which has been a problem for the last few seasons, is stopping the run and contending with defenses that are putting a lot of pressure on Dak. And if we don't have a run game, which we don't know what we have yet, to take the pressure off the quarterback where he's not dropping back against Myles Garrett, it could be a long game for us in week one. And remember, we got a tendency to start off week one games in that first half kind of slow.
yep, not like acting like we've never played football in our entire lives.
Yes.
And I mean, it's kind of sad. It's like no matter what the dynamic of the team is, no matter how things change, there's still some core things about this team that stays the same regardless. What do you think about that, Kyle?
I think I'm trusting Mike Zimmer to know what he's doing, and he's already said he's putting emphasis on the run game. So he's going to put linebackers out there, not safeties. He's going to have a Mozzie Smith back up to 330 pounds, not below 300 pounds. I think they drafted the guy in the second round because he's an edge player, but he's good at stopping the run. I think I'm putting faith in Mike Zimmer. I think he's one of those to steal a phrase, fuck around and find out type coaches. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's going to get.
Kyle.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to let this team get embarrassed. I really don't. I'm
fired up, everyone. Kyle.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We've seen what Dan Quinn's defense does against the run sometimes. Late in the season, I think Mike Zimmer, he's had plenty of time to study the tape. And we all know it. They got bullied because they got safeties playing linebacker. We know it. They got bullied because Jonathan Hankins gets hurt late in the season. They put a rookie out there who's light in the ass and a couple other guys, and they get pushed around. We know it, So
Well, I did see what Mike Zimmer was, and maybe I missed it when he was talking about Mozzie. It seemed like to me he was saying all the right stuff. As far as technique, as far as hand movement, as far as getting his feet in the right position. But I didn't in that long explanation, I didn't see anything about him and say anything about his weight. So
they did mention.
They mentioned
Okay, good. So I overlooked that part. So good. I mean, then that's good then.
Like I said, I'm putting my faith in that. Because something's got to change, and I think Zimmer's the guy to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I like? He's going to stay in the sidelines this year. He's not going to be up in the booth. I like that. I really like that. So
which is explanation, which I think is. I mean, I think he should be down there anyways.
Me too. Yeah.
But him explaining if there's something wrong, we can fix it and talk. Almost like, I'm like, well, what the hell was Dan Quinn doing last year? So he just wait to halftime. There's nobody can reach out to anybody to let somebody know something's wrong.
They can try to make phone calls. People not picking up the phone when they need.
Yeah, I mean, what was going on? So
that's just my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm not expecting Dallas to blow out, but I think Dallas has a good chance of to win this game. And like I said, and those are my reasons. Kind of hoping Mike Zimmer lights a fire on these guys' asses defensively. So
that dog pound's gonna be woofing.
They're gonna be. But those are definitely some legit reasons to make you think that the Cowboys can turn it around. Especially defensively, because those are like large glaring things that we had. We've had issues with. Hell, I mean, it's not just last season; it was the season before that too. It's just kind of like a lot of the same.
Just like Kyle said, I saw today that out of all the craziness that floats around out there in the news and whatever, it says that Mike Zimmer could be the guy to save Mike McCarthy's job this year. So, Kyle, based on what you're saying, there's at least one person out there, two, with yourself as well, that thinks Zimmer's defense can be what this team needs this year.
I think so. I don't know about you, but I do. I think so. I think they need someone that's like
Well,
I'm done
going
with
from
buddy coaches. I want someone to get in someone's face.
yeah,
Like, we need that around here because it's been too like we've gone from the clapper era where you make a mistake, I clap my hands to it's just like Jim
yeah,
McQueen wants to be buddies, and it's nice, but like I need a little change of pace here.
yeah. But we fall to that trap often though too, man. Because before the clapper there was Wade, and all of a sudden we needed more discipline. So it's kind of like we kind of keep bouncing back and forth all across the spectrum of what do we want in our coaching. You know what I mean? It's kind of been like that for like the last like decade or so. Where
But we've talked about how undisciplined this team is, and
oh yeah,
Mike Zimmer's
yeah,
specialty is discipline. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like
you
that's
definitely will bring that. Yes.
yeah.
So that gives me hope. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Well,
it's just the uncertainty with me when it comes to Zimmer. Only with the simple fact is it's just you don't know. Normally, when a
yeah,
team you bring in a guy like Zimmer, it's because the guy before him was just absolutely just horrible. In the defense, you had the personnel. The thing is with me is we lost a lot of personnel, so now you got a lot of new guys coming in, and then you got a guy like Mozzie. We really don't know what we got in him. So it's just the uncertainty for me. Is not
I
that
get
I
it.
don't believe in
yeah.
Zimmer. It's just I just don't know the personnel that we have because we lost so many guys, and then we got
I
these
get
Well,
new
it.
see,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah, go
but I
ahead.
Guys got
can't.
to step up.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys,
Yeah, you got to.
but I kind of look at that like a little bit different than how you're looking at it, Ryan. I'm looking at it like
Yeah.
I'm glad they've lost some of this
Oh
personnel.
yeah, I agree.
Because a lot of the personnel they needed that they lost probably didn't fit to the scheme of what we're trying to do anyways. They're either undersized or whatever the case may be. So I'm kind of looking at it as a good in that term, and that
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that looking at it that way.
it, it's
So
also
yeah,
it's also compounded with the fact that they didn't go out and get anybody. You know what I mean? They were one
yeah,
linebacker. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so I know what you mean. I know what Ron's saying. Like, they let all the
yeah,
guys
yeah,
go. They don't want
yeah.
to replace anybody. So that makes I
true,
hear you. That's a
So
look.
I believe in Zimmer.
One
It's just
linebacker.
yeah,
yeah.
So,
yeah.
We're all in. All in means a whole bunch of
all
different things, people.
We're all in.
yeah, I mean, a million different things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then whatever situation we get into, all in
Yeah. Yeah.
something different.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
but again, like I said, there's a lot of excitement going on. Lots of fans are talking about what games they want to travel to and where they would like to go and stuff to see a Cowboys game or whoever they're fans with or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's kind of always cool for that part of
Yeah.
it. But outside of that, to me, it just gives me like the anxiety of wanting to get to like the next stage of training camp. I want to
Oh
see this.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to see some things. I want to see some stuff now. So
yeah,
Mhm.
we're still not quite there yet.
yeah.
But Jerry Jones in the news. As always, he always has to be in the news. Lots of things going on with Netflix this year, as far as an America's Team program or whatever, and something about the cheerleaders. What's your thoughts on that, Ron?
Access Hollywood as usual. Where's Do we have Dalton Schultz on the line tonight? Do we?
Yeah. Mhm.
Dalton Schultz when you need him. Somebody
Yeah.
get him on the line. See what he has to say. It's just more things, just something to keep the team out there in the forefront, keep Jerry's name out there, keep him, it's just always something, whether it's boxing or us just having some, hard knocks. We can't get on that anymore, so because we're winning, which is good.
Mhm.
And hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, it's just something just to keep the name out there, like it's always in the brand. It's got to be out there.
Yeah, and to me, it's just like because there's like a lot of fans that hate because a lot of people that hate the Cowboys for this reason
Mhm.
alone. And to those fans of the world, listen, I would like to say that not all us Cowboy fans enjoy this shit either. Because I know I don't. I
It's
don't need
not
to
our
see.
fault.
Yeah, I don't need to see an America's Team program.
Yeah.
I certainly don't need to see anything about the cheerleaders. I don't need to see any of this stuff.
The NFL needs it.
Yeah, going to be worth 10 billion, $11 billion this year, people. And that's just what it is.
It
And
makes all these teams excited to play us because they
yep,
see us out there and they just angry. They just want to embarrass us. It makes for good football. That's why we got so many primetime games this season.
yep, got 6, the
Yeah.
most out of everybody. There's lots of games. How many are those on Thursday? Because they got like some kind of goofy Thursday stuff you got to
I know
watch.
they
You got
got
to
a
have.
Thanksgiving, and they got the Giants on another week on a Thursday as well.
Week 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. If it's not Thanksgiving, I don't like the Thursday game.
Yeah, I don't care for it too much either.
I don't know. It just seems like it's just too much. Got stuff going on with Micah. What was the deal with Micah and his what he's trying to do with his podcast or whatever? What's going on with that, Kyle?
I mean, he must be an A+ student in the Jerry Branding 101 class. I mean, this guy. He's just. And I said, and it goes. I like the guy. I really, really do. But I feel like your playing career is so finite that I think you could retire at such a young age. You could do this shit when you're 31. You know what I mean? Like, these prime years, and it's just me being the old school guy that I am. I just want guys focus on football. Like, I don't need an ambassador to China. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need when I know they're voluntary, but voluntary minicamp. You could be in the building. You talk about being a leader and changing the culture, and you're in China. You know what I mean? And it's just like, podcast, all of a sudden your buddy is CJ Stroud. Like, I don't need to see that. I want you to be a glass eater. I want you to be pissed off and angry. I want you to be in that building every goddamn day. Like, it just that's me. It pisses me off. Good for him, but it pisses me off.
Packers.
I didn't need to see the sumo wrestling stuff. That kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, you got lost by a kid that was 17. I didn't realize that person was 17 years old. That sumo guy. He got tossed by a 17-year-old. I mean, not that guy's not powerful. I'm sure he's strong. He could throw me probably through a wall, but I'm just
but that's still saying a whole lot. We already got issues with guys that being undersized and stuff. All of a sudden, you're gonna get beat up by a 17-year-old sumo wrestler. So I mean, I just want Cowboy football players to do football player stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think that day and age is over, but I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
I need somebody to walk in that door, see what's on the walls of that headquarters in that facility, take it personal enough to say, you know what? Not on my watch. We're not going another year. I'm tired. I've been hearing the talk before I got here, but it stops now. I need actually more than one guy, because we need more than one guy. We need a handful of those guys that are coming in, new guys that are like, look, my boy's been telling me, oh, you got picked up the Cowboys, or you're never going to win the Super Bowl. Somebody's friends are ragging on him about that. I need some guys that take it personal, that have walked in that door and say, you know what? I don't care what happened before us, but not on our watch.
And Ron, that's an excellent point, because I'm going to ask you guys, because I don't know what is the breaking point. What's the tipping point for this damn team? What's the breaking point for leadership? You just got your ass smashed by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Should that be enough to make you want to just sit there and straighten your shit out?
Yeah.
Because I don't think these people aren't. These players ain't cut out like
Nobody's
us.
Mad.
I will be so. I'm pissed off still, and I'll play for the Cowboys.
The problem is Jerry pissed off? No, he's not. And that's where it starts. It starts with leadership at the top. Like you said, All In turned into a big joke with him. Like, he lost. He said All In, and then that All In turned into be a joke. They're literally laughing in our faces about All In. You know what I mean? Like, he's not pissed off. What does he care? He's got $1 million businesses with Netflix now. 3 new shows for Netflix.
Nobody's taking it personal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I don't know what it is about this generation, but in football, basketball, anything sports, if we get our ass kicked, if it was a high school game or whatever it is, you bet your sweet ass. Well, we're gonna be ready the next time we cross paths.
Ready.
And you know what? Yep, you know what? And we might not win. We might not. But you're gonna notice some big damn differences and stuff.
Nobody's taking it personal. Nobody's frustrated. Nobody's punching in a locker. Nothing. I mean, I didn't hear anybody tearing up stuff. Mad, ticked off.
They come with excuses. That's all you get from them. Excuses.
Yeah. Maybe we was tired. What?
Yeah.
Who said?
Marcus Lawrence, they were tired. As if all the other teams didn't play 17-game schedule too. And somehow make a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm sure the
Yeah,
Packers were tired the following week also.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
They
yeah.
still they made it. They made it though.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like that's just like say excuses, you know?
I mean, and the average listener probably think, well, these are professional athletes and stuff, but I mean, it's not the point of when we're doing comparisons between, us and our day-to-day jobs or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. Or it's not that type of comparison. It's a comparison of just of a spirit and being competitive. Because I mean, if it's not sports, it's the workplace. I don't
Mm.
want to be the worst fucking employee at my damn job.
Yeah,
I want to be an ass kicker at my job, no matter
yeah,
what the job title is.
yeah.
And I want to know that I can be relied on in any type of situation. That's in a job. That's in sports. That's in a parent. That's in a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we had the yeah.
what makes us different than this
Mhm.
generation when in that regard?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
get it.
We had it
It's
just a couple of seasons ago. Micah, saying that he was gonna put up these amount of sacks, when the season came in. And DeMarcus Lawrence like, well, I'm gonna do this. And he came out with the same. I get that. I understand the pressures. But I'm like, there's no competition on the team. Like
Yeah,
hopefully we'll get that this year between Bland and Diggs. Like Diggs, like, nah, I'm gonna get this and that. I would love to see that get the Thurman Thieves back out there type of
yeah.
thing again. But go ahead, I think Kyle. I'm sorry about that, Kyle. I think you about to jump in.
no. I was no. I know. I was agreeing with you. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's like another thing. It's just like even on the team and performance, you don't want to. You always want somebody there trying to be the best at your position on your team. I mean, and then that turns into wanting to be the best in your conference and wanting to be the best in the league.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think any of these players on our team thinks like that.
Other than probably Dak, and a lot of fans don't even want him, and
Right?
he's probably the most dedicated guy, and
Exactly.
yeah, probably that wants to win on this team the most. I mean, other people can probably
Exactly.
say it, but Dak shows it that look, I want to win with this team. I don't see it. I haven't seen anything different out of this guy.
Well, didn't CeeDee Lamb say something like that after the season, like in an interview, saying Dak's the leader, but I gotta step up too.
Yeah,
He can't be the only leader out there,
yeah,
and he's got a point because I mean, CeeDee's a fiery guy. He plays with emotion, but like Dak, Dak can be too, but he never loses his cool. He's calm under pressure. You know what I mean? He never loses. He never gets out of himself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
sometimes Micah Parsons gets a little like pouty out there when he doesn't get
yeah.
a sack. He gets a little pouty sometimes, and
yeah.
he's like. He's going to step up and be a little more of a leader, I think.
Well, you
know.
know what it is with Micah. Micah's the bully and stuff, a big, loud, roaring lion bully until he gets punched in the face and then he hides.
There's some of that.
That's what his problem is.
Yeah,
But
there's some of that. Yeah.
but I think though with Dak, just thinking about the dynamic of Dak in this upcoming season, this might be a really, really good season for Dak because I mean just think about it. This guy his life's a little bit different now. He ain't gonna be sitting there thinking about those newspaper articles and shit after the game's over. He's gonna be thinking about his beautiful girlfriend or wife or whatever and their damn child and stuff. He's not gonna be thinking about half the things he's probably was thinking about before. So, I mean, it could either turn into being a less pressure on him for this upcoming season, or it could just switch around where he just turns into like, well, F it, I just don't care. So pay me, and then
go ahead, Kyle.
I'm either
I think Kyle's going. Yeah,
yeah, either pay me, I'm gonna stay here or no, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
I feel like all this pressure stuff is just on media. Like, remember how last offseason, every single media outlet talked about interceptions.
Yep.
He sucked that all up because you know why? Because interceptions was never a big deal with him ever in his career. But, something like I don't think the pressure. I know Ron disagrees, but I don't think it really gets to him. You know what I mean? Like I think he's going to go out and do what he does. I mean, all that pressure in the offseason about interceptions, if he was the runner-up in the MVP voting, you know what I mean? And probably should have won it because he put up better numbers than Lamar Jackson. Across the board, better numbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I just don't, I don't know. I think Dak's going to do what he does. I don't think he's going to have any kind of regression. I don't know. I mean, like I said,
yeah. And
they retooled the offensive line, the running, I get the running game aspect. They didn't have much of a running game last year. So, I mean, it is what it is,
Well, see, I mean, I think with the running game, it just comes down to it's not necessarily who you got running the ball. If it's going to be a starter or
Yeah.
the line. I mean, the line's still the line. But I mean, if you're not going to have the right play selection, either way, it's not gonna matter if you got Pollard running it or if you got a running back by committee. If you're not doing the right play selection, it's still going to be the same shit. And I think sometimes I still think with the Cowboys is more play selection than any damn thing in some cases, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I just want to think about the as we're talking about Dak, and I know a lot of people probably won't agree out there, but I think there is some pressure. There has been and I think the pressure we may not see it, but internal. Like if I'm seeing that it looks like this guy's the only one that's really fired up about something. I think sometimes Dak's probably thinking that too. Like who else is on this team that's with me? And why I say that because Troy, you and I got into this a little bit on the last show I was on about Zeke's presence.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and Zeke's gonna and go for over 1,000 yards. I don't know. I know he has little spurts in there. He did 800 last year. Uh, where he was in New England, and that was just not even starting the season off as a starter. So I think it could happen depending on how the line blocks. But for Dak though, I think it puts another guy in the locker room that's going to want it as much as Dak does. I think the two of them, when they first came in there, they really believed that we could be the guys that take this team to bring this team back to glory. And I think when Zeke left, to me, it looks like it kind of left Dak alone. Like he didn't have that guy in the huddle no more that he looked around and said, "Let's go do this." It felt like guys were just not there. Maybe it was just me, and just having Zeke back to me, I think it helps at least in the locker room in the huddle to see Zeke back out there, another guy back on the team that probably wants it just as much as Dak now.
I don't know. I mean, it's nice for a story.
They won 12 games. The same 12 games last. I mean,
it's nice for a story if if lo and behold the Cowboys win and all of a sudden, well, it's because Zach had reunited his friendship with it and they walked out and run off with this. I mean, it makes for a great story. But this ain't a Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen story. This is
it's in a fairy tale.
This is the Dallas Cowboys still. And no matter how good intended the story it could be, and how it might make sense for any other professional franchise, you got to realize Jerry is all in, Jack.
Once again, Jerry's speaking this bullshit. He's saying he's convinced that Zeke is still number one runner in the league. He's not. We know that.
No,
The league knows it. 31 of the general managers know it. Zeke is not a number one, but Jerry still says he is. Jerry also says I've seen trades made at the deadline for running backs that have helped the team to the Super Bowl. I listened to, I don't know what podcast it was, Ed Warner or something. That's never happened. It's never happened where a team traded for a running back at the deadline and that team won the Super Bowl because of the running back. It's never happened. So why is Jerry saying that? Because he's speaking his bullshit. But that's the thing. He believes it. He believes it. He believes Zeke's the number one. He believes, well, I could trade. He didn't trade last year for Derrick Henry at the trade deadline. So what makes him think he's going to do it this year? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's still full of shit.
And the thing is like, again, because there's gonna be fans. I mean, I'm a fan of Ezekiel Elliott. I like him, but I also love my team.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just I just don't see it. Like, again, I mean, it would make for a great story, but I mean, I don't see it. But Jerry, he talks about with Zeke, but they also talk about Trey Lance. A guy that no one's ever seen anybody do any damn thing except hold a clipboard. But they're still to this very day talking about this man. Why? Can someone explain to me why they talk about this guy? Why talk about him if you're supposed to be wanting to go keep Dak? And why? Why even mention his name?
To justify trading a 4th-round pick for him?
Exactly. Thank you, Kyle. I'm glad you said it.
They had to justify it because, like I said, there were other quarterbacks that were traded for 6th and 7th round picks, and we give a 4th from this clown.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Exactly. Dude, that's the only way you can is you have
Yeah.
to make people believe that what you did was the most intelligent move in the league. You have to do that.
Yeah. Because the whole
Yep.
the whole the whole offseason, all we heard was, man, if only we had a fourth round pick for a running back. That's such a good spot to draft a running back. Oh, fourth round pick. And it's like, well, we gave up that fourth round pick for a inactive quarterback every week last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was on
Yeah.
the last year of his contract. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
Mhm.
oh, we're gonna give him reps and we're gonna do this.
Yep.
Like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and now, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are at the countdown right now. This very moment, we're at the countdown for when preseason football happens, and Trey Lance throws that first touchdown pass,
Oh
and
God, man.
that's gonna be it's gonna be junk time football, but that's gonna be the time where that part of the fan base is gonna be saying we need to start Trey Lance.
Yep. On that third string defense. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Ron hitting it right now. It's like no starting defensive linemen, no starting cornerbacks. It's going to be, like I said, a future accountants in of America. And,
Yeah, how did
you
that work
know,
out for what's the
Yeah.
guy we had here and who's that? Was that last preseason? Was it number 15? Gosh, he did so well for us. I remember his name right off the top of my tongue just like that. That came in and everybody was feeling sorry for him because he was going to get cut the last preseason game and he comes out there and has a monster
oh, Will Greer,
preseason.
Will Greer, Will
Yeah, there you
Greer.
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Will
Yeah, yeah.
Greer. Yeah.
Yeah, what did he do? What did he do? Did he
He
go
was
to
on three.
Carol?
He
Did he
was
go
on
to
three
Carolina?
teams last year:
Yeah,
Oh
and we never
wow!
heard from him again. It's
Cincinnati,
like,
New
yeah.
England, and like somewhere else. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody thought because he did that, like, oh, we'll agree, we're gonna regret giving him up. Yeah,
I mean,
Third string quarterbacks are a dime a dozen. That's not. Yeah. Everyone knows third string quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks are a dime a dozen. Yeah.
yeah, they are, and and let me just say too, I'm sure Trey Lance is a nice enough guy too. I mean, I haven't heard the man even speak before, but I'm sure he's a nice enough guy. I'm sure he is like working hard and trying to do what he can do and stuff. But my quarterback's Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
And that it is what it is. And I mean, we got numbers where you can do comparisons between Dak Prescott and any other quarterback in the National Football League. And Dak Prescott has either surpassed that quarterback or is like right on that quarterback's ass as far as like particular numbers go. So
I just saw one before we hopped on here about him and Drew Brees. If you compare their first, I think 6 or 7 seasons,
Mhm.
except for yards, which Drew Brees only has 1,000 more yards, Dak has more touchdowns, less interceptions, a higher quarterback rating, and a higher completion percentage than Drew Brees. Through the first 124 games.
And that's
yep.
to be
People
expected
don't
because
want
you
to
got
hear
to
it.
get there.
No one wants to hear it, but those are the numbers, man.
That's to be expected. That doesn't surprise me at all either because
Yeah.
Dak did start off with Zeke, that ran up a lot of yards, so he probably would have had a lot more yards. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that doesn't surprise me that those numbers are compared.
That-
It does surprise a lot of others though. Good
Yeah, I
point there,
know.
Kyle.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
You would think Dak Prescott was, God, I don't know, E.G. Manuel or some shit. You know what I mean? Like he's some kind of bum. But hey, that's
Yeah.
just me. That's just me. I'm not gonna go on a Dak rant. Everyone knows what I feel
Yeah,
about him.
yeah.
But
We
Yeah.
the point is that Troy was
Ah,
right. Like you look at these numbers, he compares a lot of these guys. He just doesn't have the ring. That's not
yeah.
necessarily his fault. The
Yeah.
defense
That's
didn't force a
the.
punt last week against the Packers. So,
I mean,
and a
like
lot
with
of
me,
people just want to see a little bit more clutch too. I mean, we get a lot of
yeah,
wins at
but
certain
yeah,
things.
but the players
Yeah,
they're comparing with,
yeah.
you think Josh Allen's clutch because I don't think he is, and that's one of the people they compare him to, a boatload more interceptions.
yeah.
He makes mistakes and stuff too, you
Mhm.
Yeah,
know,
no.
Well,
I mean,
Josh
look, it's
Allen's
all about
time
having
might
a
be
well.
coming to an end too.
It's all
huh?
about having a well-rounded team. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have, you can't just have an all-star quarterback and no one around him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's got to be defense.
exactly.
It's all 3 phases. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
last year's offense was not the issue. They were the number one ranked offense in the league. The problem is they got to the playoffs. And I don't know if that team smelled themselves too much, but the defense did not. We talked.
Nope.
They didn't force a punt until the Packers put their backups in. Their
Yeah.
backups. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like they scored on every single
I
drive.
mean, Jordan
Every
Love
single
Yeah.
drive.
So Jordan Love looks so comfortable out there. It's like we could see it. You could see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like this is not
Yeah.
good. This
And
guy
I,
is comfortable out there.
yeah,
And
but
that's what I'm saying. Like,
and I'm telling the average or the novice football fan, I guarantee you, them cross body passes and stuff that Jordan Love was doing against the
oh my
Cowboys
God. Yeah.
ain't happening against any other team in the NFL.
And
Matter of fact, the next week in the playoffs, it didn't work. It didn't
Jimmy
work.
Johnson was
Exactly.
fine at halftime. Jimmy Johnson was like, "Put it on, Jordan Love. Why am I not seeing
Exactly.
anybody putting it on this guy?"
And
Yeah.
that's my point. Dak didn't call for the defensive scheme. He didn't tell them to start playing zone instead of man. That was not Dak. He didn't. He's not a rusher passer. He's not covering anybody.
And you know what the scary thing too about that, Kyle, is it's one thing telling your defense to go back into play zone coverage. There's another thing telling your team to go back and play zone coverage where you have zero experience playing zone coverage.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
They got
zone
sports.
is designed to confuse young QBs. I get that. But like you said, if you don't have guys that are disciplined and know where they need to be, and they're making themselves predictable that the QB knows, okay, this guy's going to be right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to throw to that area. He's going to wait till his guy gets into the next open space and then throw it.
Yep.
And if it's not working, would you keep doing it or would you go back to what you did all fucking season? You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't rocket science. But again, that didn't make that call. That was Dan Quinn.
I know we brought up
I would say I would be on the sideline and be like, "Oh, that looked like shit. Let me go ahead and change this back to what we normally do."
Yep.
They just don't want to pull back on the throttle. That's crazy. But speaking of QBs, we were talking about Will Grier. See, he's on the Eagles roster now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see him a little bit in the preseason. And,
and then he'll be cut before the season's over.
I don't know. You might have some Philadelphia fans calling for him to start because Jalen Hurts is getting ready to catch hell this year.
He's never thrown an NFL touchdown in the regular season.
Wow.
Oh, he's a backup. That's what he is.
The best gig in the NFL, man.
Exactly. I know, right? You get paid forever for that shit.
Zero touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Shit, Vinny Testaverde's still a backup for some team, I bet. Anyways. But anyways, it's always fun talking about Dallas Cowboy football, and I'd like to thank all you guys listening into our program. If you ever have a question, do not hesitate to go ahead and take a little comment box below and ask us a question, and we'd love to address it on the show. What do you have? You have anything final you'd like to say to people, Kyle?
Well, real quick, we didn't talk about the Thanksgiving game.
We still got Gilmore.
Thanksgiving game, Giants, not really that awe-inspiring. And then the last two games, they got Eagles and they finished off with Washington.
Yeah.
So let's just go. Like I said, those last two games, division Eagles game, that could be for the division right there. You never know.
True.
Exactly. I don't know about you guys, but I am out on the Giants. I'm out on the Washington. They're not that good. I think it'll be a year or two for those guys who are remotely competitive. And Dak has owned this division when it comes to head-to-head matchups on those teams.
I think the Redskins are going to be a little bit better than what people think.
They'll be better, but I don't see like a 10-7 team from them. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah,
I see like 7-10.
They may give us fits because now you got guys that on that team's going to probably take it personal. Like we don't take stuff personal because they're going to be like, "Hey, yeah, we used to be on that team. Now we're not going to let the Cowboys come in here and do whatever."
No, that's very, very true.
Dan Quinn, we were talking about how Dan Quinn does so well against former teams that he coached against. We beat the Seahawks. We beat the Falcons. Will he beat the Cowboys next year?
I hope not, because I kind of got an issue with him. Like one of those issues where it's kind of like on site.
On site.
One of those type of issues, but
but Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just outside. That's the only Thursday I like to watch football, but.
Yeah, it's good. I should have a pleasant Thanksgiving now because I was concerned we were going to draw the Texans and it was going to probably be tough.
Everyone thought that. Yeah, then that would have been a good matchup. But I'm surprised by that too. That's a Monday night game though. The Texans are a Monday night game. That's good.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a home game, right? Home game.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
home
got
game.
them
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the home game. It'll look like a Houston home game. That's how it's going to shape out. But
what are the chances of Gilmore coming back?
I think
it's not. I think it's not going to happen unless barring a setback from Diggs. It just you just can't justify the move.
I think if the price, I think if the price is right, you go.
You got two All-Pro cornerbacks now. Where is he going to play? You can't put Bland in CB3 coming off an All-Pro season.
Well, I don't think it comes. I don't think
is he better than is he better than Jordan Lewis? I would argue Gilmore's better than Jordan Lewis.
I would, yeah, I think he is.
DeRon Bland?
No. Gilmore. Is Gilmore better than Jordan Lewis?
Yeah.
Well, then he can have Lewis.
No, you're not putting him in the slot. Yeah, you're not putting Gilmore.
You can put Bland in the slot, have Gilmore and Diggs here outside. Like, that was the plan all along last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
until Bland made All-Pro.
Yeah, I think if the price is right, and it depends on where Gilmore's head's at. If his head's at being a backup, the price is right. Hell yeah,
exactly. You need
for it.
Depth. I don't know. I'm not counting on it. This is all. Yeah, this is.
But if he's looking to start, probably
he's looking
not.
For another CB2 position. Yeah, he came off that season. He's looking for another CB2 position. Last thing he wants to do is hold his helmet in his hand, waiting on a third and long situation to come in where he can get out there and be an extra DB on the field. I just don't see it. I don't see him coming in that kind of a reserve role. We brought him in. He was supposed to young talent developed because DeRon Bland made All-Pro. You don't have a reason to bring him back now because you've got two guys now All-Pro in your secondary.
True.
But look what happened last year.
Yeah. But
torn ACL week 2. You know what I mean? You never know.
I thought he stepped. I thought he stepped up for what it was last year. Yeah. I thought he stepped up.
The problem is he's not going to play for $1 million because that's what Troy's saying. If you're going to play for $1 million, if you're not playing for that, you ain't playing with Dallas Cowboys. That's what it is. There you go. A guy can get 4 or 5 on the open market.
See, if you went lower than what I was gonna go because I was thinking like $2 million.
No,
$2 million.
Gilmore's at least 4 or 5.
That's what I'm saying. Jerry's only going to go to 1.517.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I can go get 5 from I don't know. Let's just go with the Dolphins.
Somewhere
I'm taking 5 from the Dolphins. Exactly.
Somewhere where a team is really competing to do something and they lost a guy and they bring in somebody else in extra.
Yeah, he might give him like 1.5 million and all you can eat gift card,
something like that. I could see him
gift card
for like that.
For free Netflix subscription to watch all the Dallas Cowboys shows.
You get a free meal at Cotton Patch on Tuesdays.
Where you won't be getting anything is probably Red Lobster.
No,
exactly.
and God, man, that Red Lobster, that was my big news. And people are talking about the Cowboy schedule. I was trying to make sure that my Red Lobster was going to stay open.
Yeah,
which it did.
Yeah.
Which it did.
Yeah.
So
I saw it.
I live to fight another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Red Lobsters, I mean, that's my childhood right
For
there.
the seafood lover in you.
In you. Damn right. What else you got, Ron?
I think that's it. I'm good on this end.
All right. Well, again, as always, we just enjoy just talking about Dallas Cowboy football, casual level and stuff. Again, none of us plan on suiting up for the Cowboys anytime soon or anything like that. It's just I like to call it it's like armchair quarterbacking, but with like a little more common sense than most.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, that's all I have too. But on behalf of myself, the Star-Struck fan, and Kyle, we bid you guys adieu. And as always, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?